there's one tiny hack that you can do that you might have overlooked that can make the difference between success and failure. You're about to watch Justin Kan, who sold his company to Amazon for almost $1 billion. Okay, here we go. Cue the music. So I want to go back and talk a little bit about some of the obstacles that you had while you were playing Justin TV, because I'm sure, you're still eating burritos or, living on the low.
Yeah.
You weren't, pimping, riding around in your Mercedes.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time you're thinking like, what am I doing? I'm wasting time.
All the time. I thought about what am I doing constantly?
Were other people saying, what are you doing? Why are you wasting so much time? Or?
Well, not really. My parents were very supportive. Like other people, other people were. There was I went on the Today Show, and Ann Curry on the Today Show was like, "What are you doing? What do you do? What do your parents think of this?"
I guess you did have funding though, so there was sort of proof of concept.
Yeah, we had funding, and we thought there could be something here. And once we launched it as a live video site, definitely people were using it. So there was some traction, right? The problem, every entrepreneurship, the mindset's cyclical. So every year or so, I'd be like, oh, things are not going well. Should I be at a job?
And how are you measuring whether or not it was going well? Was it engagement? Was it money?
It's kind of engagement, money, how I was feeling, all those things. So there'd be ups and downs. Startups are a roller coaster, and so there'd be peaks where we're like, oh, traffic grew, raised more money, whatever, hired an employee we really wanted to hire, and there were a lot of valleys that were like, oh, traffic fell, the site went down, someone quit, and it's always a balance of trying, when you're in those lows, trying not to quit,
Yeah. You guys really had your ear to the ground, finger on the pulse, whatever you want to say. You were listening to your customers, and they were telling you what they wanted, and then you created it for them, and you delivered it.
Yeah.
And I think we can attribute the success largely to you being a good listener.
Well, once again, I'll give my credit all to my co-founder, but yes.
Your team, you and your team. I'm sure you didn't do this alone, but that's a really key lesson. I think I talk to a lot of founders, I talk to a lot of people who are running businesses, and I'm surprised sometimes at the order of operations being backwards sometimes.
Yeah.
I hear people saying, I've got this brilliant idea, they rush out to create it without knowing that there's any demand or any of these product features that people may or may not want.
Yeah.
They even spend money on tooling or to make dyes or samples, and they spend all this money and then they go to market with it, and then they're surprised that no one wants to buy it.
Yes, I think there's this important thing, which is you need to talk to your customers. Yeah. Just people are scared to talk to their customers. I was scared as a founder often to talk to my customers because, maybe they're not going to say what I think they're going to say. Maybe they're not going to say. Maybe they're going to say your product sucks. They probably will if you haven't talked to them, right? And so it can be frightening, and it's easier to say, oh, I know what they want, and I'm just going to throw it out there, and then they're going to use it.
Well, the question matters too, right? Sometimes asking the right question is where it's at. If you say, what do you think of my platform? That's one question, but a better question sounds like what you guys asked, which is,
what's going to get you?
What do you need?
Yeah, what do you need? What's going to make you stream more?
Yeah.
If you're on another platform, what's going to convince you to switch over to my platform?
We were just sitting back, chopping it up, reminiscing about the good old days and all that. Tracking my roots, where I came from and where I'm going. But like I say, man,